We are live. Hello, everyone. Lovely to have you join as you join, or lovely to have you watch the replay on this lovely Sunday at the beginning of winter, my very favourite season. I hope Instagram is telling you that I'm going live because it doesn't always. So today I'm going to have a chat with Alison, Compton, and we're going to talk about human design. So as you come in to join us, so if you know what your human design is, if you know what type you are. I have clicked Alison to join, so she should be coming up any minute. Okay, let's see how that goes. Hi, everyone. Lovely to see you. What's happening on your end, Alison? Is it letting you go live? Hi, Sue. Am I still okay? Let's accept for the second time. Fingers crossed. What is it saying your end, Alison? Because it's unable to join. Okay, so Alison, sometimes this happens when you need to update your, if you need to update Instagram. So I might just sort of hold the fort for a little bit. If you can go update your Instagram, and then if you can come back in and send a request again, and we'll see if that works. Fingers crossed. Okay. Let me know if you're happy to do that, Alison. All right, so hi everyone. So ideally, hopefully, very soon we'll be chatting to Alison, because I do not know very much about human design, but I know that I love it. And it's interesting because people seem to fall into one of two camps. Either you know human design and you love it, or they haven't heard about it at all, which always sort of quite surprises me, because it does feel to me like it is sort of everywhere. Let me know if you're here, and as you're coming in, do you know about human design, and do you know what type you are? So I'm a manifesting generator. Do you know what you are? And also, have you heard of human design? So hopefully we will have Alison join very shortly. Okay. Fingers crossed. Beaming in Alison. Yes. Yes. Hey, well done. Oh. That's great. That can happen. That can happen. Did you need to update? Yes.
I closed out, but with the first request said check your settings and make sure that you get the video and the microphone. Yeah. So we're good.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, my love.
So, as I was just saying, I find it funny that people don't know what human design is, because I sort of feel like it's everywhere. But of course, I haven't known about it probably more than a couple of years. And yeah, from when I have known about it, I've loved it, because it feels so spot on. Yeah. Like, I'm a Gemini, and if I read Gemini things, mostly they feel like they apply to me, but not always. Whereas with human design, it's always like, yep. So, why don't you start by telling us kind of what human design is? Because some people still have never heard of it.
Well, it's like, for me, it's a bit like astrology and Myers-Briggs and personality profiling and the chakra systems and the Kabbalah, anything where you've like gone, who am I? What am I about? And something's come up with, oh, there's a system for this. Oh, there's a system. Oh, you can do this and you can do that. And it's like this one pulls it all together.
Right.
And it sort of makes it all, it's like, oh, wow. So like you said, you get a bit from astrology, and you get, because like I'm a Scorpio, and then I've got a Leo moon, and then I've got what is it, Cancer ascendant, and then you're trying to put them together and going, oh yeah. Whereas this sort of like blew my socks off when I first saw it, when I was first introduced to it. So it's a bit weird because it's a system that was downloaded.
How did you kind of find out about it?
Right. Well, around about 2025, my friend Sam from the UK, I'd moved to Australia in 99, and she sent me a message and said, oh my God, you've got to have a reading. And it's like, what is this? And she actually said, I will give you your money back if you don't get anything from this, if you feel like it was a waste of money. So it's like, okay, then it must be good if she's volunteering to do that. So then I got in touch with the lady in America and set up the reading, and it was just like, wow. I felt like she was on my shoulder watching me. It was like she could see me going in the fridge and looking in people's fridges, which is something I always did. It's like I'd always go to my family's friend's house and I'd just have a look in the fridge, and they go, are you hungry? No, I'd just like to look in your fridge. And that's in my chart. And it's like, what? And then also, it's like socks. I often turn my socks inside out. I cut the labels out. It's got to feel nice. It can look gorgeous. But if the texture's not right, I'm not interested. And that's in there as well. And my sensitivity, and so much was in there. I was just like, I'm going, how can you know this stuff? How can you? And it's in there, and it's just amazing.
So how long between that when you thought, right, I want to study it myself?
I bought the books. First thing I did was buy books, and there wasn't a lot of books out there at that time, but I got what I could. And then it wasn't really until I was leaving, I was working overseas in Kazakhstan, and I was like, right, coming back to Australia, I want to really use this, because I'd had experiences when I was working overseas, which was because I'm a projector, so it's all about invite and recognition, and I could feel those getting taken away. I could feel the invites ending, and there was so many triggers and so many things that were just shouting, human design, no more. So that's when I booked my first course and went to New Zealand and did a couple of courses there. So I traveled there and back, and then it's like, I so want to do it face to face here in Australia, and there was nobody. It was just online. So I had to bite the bullet.
Right.
And do it online.
And when was that?
Which I did.
When did, yeah.
So 2015, I started with the basic course, and then it just went from there. Mm-hmm. And the analysis training there was like 3 courses you had to do before you could sign and register to do the professional training, the analysis. And then that took about 2 years, I think, to go through, and thousands of dollars. But
so what do you love about it for you? What do you love about it? Yeah. What do you love?
I just love the fact that it gets you, it knows you, it can give you these nuggets of information, like I said, that you just go, how do you know that?
Yeah.
And for me, it helps me be me, because my chart's very open, but regardless, open, I mean lots of white. There's lots of white in my chart. But what it's done is it's helped me recognize where I get sucked into other people, into other stuff, where they influence me. And it's helped me to just go, you know what? This is me. This is me. And I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me. Because go on, sorry.
No.
Oh, it's just that we're so led to be like, you've got to be this, you've got to have a career, you've got to work in corporate, you've got to do professional stuff, you've got to be whatever, and fit in and not speak up and don't rock the boat, and and earn a good living and all that bullshit, which all compromises who you really are. And for me, it's the trigger to just go, this is me. This is me.
So you're a projector.
Yes.
I'm a manifesting generator. And in a minute, I'll get you to describe the 4 types and what kind of is the general traits of each one. But if you're here and you're listening and you do know what your human design is, I'd love you to put it into the chat. I'd love to see who's here and what is your human design. If you know, if you don't know, there's an easy way to find out, and Alison will let you know how to find out. But I felt very much the same way. So my friend Danella and I, we're both manifesting generators, and I am just, so, you get into business and the first thing they tell you to do is, what's your niche? What's your niche? And that always just made me want to just lose the will to live. I mean, the thought of doing the same thing every day literally makes me lose the will to live. And then it's so classic during my kinesiology training. I'd look at the book and go, yeah, don't worry about that, just do it this way. And everyone would be like, but why would I waste my time following the book? Like I don't. And once I got into human design, and especially your reading, like just so confirmed to me that it's okay to be that way. It's not like I'm being like a petulant child who's saying, I can't be bothered learning that thing. It's like, it just is not the way that I function, and it's not in my best interests to waste my time doing something that I don't need to do. And I think so for business, it like really, I felt the same way. I was like, oh my God, I have never felt so seen in my whole entire life. It's not that I can't commit to things. It's just that I really like the change and for things to be different. And when something doesn't interest me anymore, right now we're doing this, and it's totally okay. Yeah.
And it's sort of like gives you permission to be you, and that you don't have to fit in with what everybody else says. And when you know your type and you know how your type works, as in like your energy, your aura, how you connect with others, and you also know how to make decisions that's right for you. Because you can make any decision. And the thing is, what I want to say about human design is, it doesn't matter what's coloured in and what's why. You can be anything you want to be in your life. You can do anything you want to do. It's just some things are easier than others. Some things you are here to do. It's programmed in. It's what your soul chose to do. And other things are like shoving bricks up hill, or
Anyone that's
can I swear?
Anyone that's
and it is, and it's like when you realize why something's so hard, and you can actually go, because I didn't make the decision right, and it wasn't, and I felt obliged, and my friend asked me, and maybe I should have, and then
it's also really, it shows you why you can't necessarily ask someone else how to do something that's better, because you could be going completely against yourself. They could say, oh, this is the way to do it. It's not going to be necessarily the way that you function or that's best for you. So tell us about the 4 types.
Right. So we start, generator is the main one. There's 70% of generators, and generators are split into 2. Because you've got your generators that are pure. And when I say generator, it is like you've got this generator, this motor that's running. And then you've got your manifesting generators that do it extra quick, twice as fast, twice as they've got their generator plugged into, rather than 240 volts, what's the higher, straight into the power station. You're plugged in straight into the power station. You've got it. There's no bypass. You're doing it 100 miles an hour. Now, what I want to just make clear is a manifesting generator is not a manifester with a generator. It's not. They're different types. A generator means that you respond. So you've got like a sacral energy that responds. So what I mean by that is Tell me if I'm going too deep
No,
too
no, no.
fast. All right,
It's
just
good.
get carried away.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're looking on Instagram, for instance, as you look through the feed, there's like lots and hundreds and thousands. And which one do you look at? Which one do you want to click further and investigate more? And that's you responding to that picture, to that image. Your sacral, which is a vibration, a sensation, a resonance.
Well, let's stick with the types first.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Tell us about being a generator.
So that's what that's what I'm saying. A generator
so
responds. It needs. Yeah. So although it might be their decision-making authority, it might not, which we'll get into in a bit.
Yeah.
But generally, a generator has to have something show up to go, oh yeah. So whether it's walking past the fridge and they get that sensation, that vibration that says, open the fridge, look in the fridge, or flick the kettle on, or make a drink, or open the curtains, or click on a link. It's like it's a constant do not, shall I shanta, but it comes from that resonance response down in your sacral, so you're responding. And so what happens with a lot of generators, they go, oh, I've got to wait to respond. No, you're responding in every breath. There's no waiting. You're responding when you're tuned in, and you know this, Sabine, you know, because when you're tuned in, you just do. You just, everything is a response.
So that's the generator. Yeah. What's the next one you want to talk about?
So the manifester. Yeah. The manifester is very strong, very powerful energy, and they
so this
do
is
their
you,
own
Sue.
thing.
Sue has just said she's a manifester.
Oh, so she knows.
Yeah.
You know, Sue. Yeah, and I noticed Wendy was on there, and Wendy's a is Wendy a generator? Yeah, I think Wendy's a generator, pure generator. Yeah, and so a manifester is here to make things happen and to create the things that a generator can respond to. So a manifester is very independent, and they're here to just do.
Right.
They want to do, they just do. They're off they go. The sun's shining, right, off I go. Yeah, the door's open, now I'm off. And especially when it's a child, the door's open, they're off. Yeah, so a manifester is not here to be controlled and to ask permission and to go, can I, can't I? They're here to do. So they're very independent, and they can be difficult in relationships because they just want to do. And you can have a partner that's a generator that goes, oh, why are you doing that? Where are you going and what are you doing? And don't just go. And that's like, oh, I just need
to that's a generator. Me. So that's a generator.
So a
manifester. So what's a manifesting generator?
So a manifesting generator is the same as a generator. They're not a manifester. They're the same as a generator, but they work super fast. Super fast. So they don't often hear or sense their sacral as easy as a generator, because it's like this. And so when they've got that, they're going 1,000,000 miles an hour and making things happen, but only if their sacral says it's okay. Otherwise, they're trying to be a manifester and it doesn't work. And they keep hitting brick walls.
We're going to talk about that in a little more detail in a minute, because I am sacral authority. And when we talk about the authority, we'll talk about where that plays in with manifesting generator. And what's the fourth type?
So no, generator is one type that's split into two. Yeah. So we've got manifester, generator, that's two parts. Yep. And then we've got projector, which I'm a projector. So a projector is an energy that's a low energy being. A manifester is a low energy being, but they're powerful, if that makes sense. We can explain a bit more as I go along. So a projector is here to read and guide other people's energy. So they're a bit of a know-it-all. Yes. They can advise, but they come across as very bossy if they're not asked, or if they offer advice, or if they are invited to advise, and then the other person goes, yeah, no, not interested. It's like,
what?
Yeah. What? Because it's like you've got x-ray eyes. You can read somebody and you connect with their energy. So it's very intense. Projectors are intense. Yeah. So it's intense, and they're here to support, guide, and unstick other types.
Right.
Yeah. But they do need to be recognized and valued and appreciated. Right, reflector. Right. That's our last one, and it's very rare. A reflector is only what, 1-2% of the population.
Do we have any reflectors in the house? We'd love to know.
Have we got any reflectors? Do you know what
human design you are? Please pop it in. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, cool. So, a reflector is like a mirror or like a canary down the coal mine. They're here to sense and sample the environment and let you know what's going on. So if a reflector is miserable, it's because this is the situation. They're reading the situation and expressing it. It's not necessarily them that's miserable. It's just they're reflecting that. Yeah. And so it's amazing, because when you have a conversation with a reflector, they're reflecting you. So they're, you get the answers that you want because they're mirroring you, or you get the answers you don't want because they're mirroring you.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it is a challenge for a reflector, and we can go into that when we look at their decision making and what they're about.
Let's move to that. So basically, the most basic thing, I suppose, is to learn, which one of those types you are, and then. So I have a sacral authority. So what does our authority even mean?
Right.
Regardless of the sacral.
So you've got, So you've got your type, which is your aura type, and now you connect with other people. Yeah. And that has a strategy. That's the way that works, which is what we've already talked about. Now we go into how do you make your decisions, and that's where the authority is. So it's just authority is your decision-making process for you.
Right.
That makes sure that your decisions are correct for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can have decisions. You can have decisions, and you can make any decision, but it's making a decision that's correct, that keeps you in your flow, on your soul path, going where you need to go to experience what your soul says it wants to experience in this life.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go back to the generator, because they're the generator and the manifesting generator. Now, they may be just a sacral, and I don't mean just, I mean their sacral is their way that they make decisions, which means that they respond in the same way that they do. So it's sort of like, it's a bit easy for them because they're doing their strategy and decision making all in one go.
Right. Yeah.
That's where it gets sort of a bit confusing, because it's all in one go. So it's like, oh, is that my life's method strategy, or is that my decision? It's the whole thing. Yeah.
And I remember when you said in my reading about sort of being the sacral authority, what I could really relate to there is that sometimes I don't know exactly how I want something to be done. Like, let's say, if somebody's doing something for me on my website.
I'm just getting your chart. I've got it here somewhere.
If someone's doing something for me on my website, or if somebody's whatever, if you said to me, how do you want that done? I'll often say, I'm not sure, but the minute you show me something, I'll go, yep, no, yep, no, yep, no. So, like I remember I gave you the example of my wedding dress in my first wedding. I tried no wedding dresses on. I found one in a magazine. I said, this is it. I cut out the picture. I took it to a dressmaker. I said, please make me this dress. They were horrified that I had tried no other dresses on. I said, I don't need to. This is the dress. She made me the dress. And even in the lead up to the wedding, these two old ladies were saying, but don't you want to, but isn't it, and don't you, and maybe, no. And don't you want to add, no. Loved it. It was perfect. But I did need to see it. I couldn't have drawn it from my mind. I had to see it in order to react to it.
That's exactly how your sacral, your decision making works, is because you've got to see something so that your sacral can go, yeah, no. Or you've got to have a question. Do you want it in this material or this material?
And
so
then it's really easy for me to go that one, not that one, that one, not that one.
Whereas if I go, what material do you want? It's like,
I'm not really sure. Show me what my choices are. Yeah.
So here's your choices.
Yeah.
And then you can go, this one? Yeah. No.
I'll always know immediately. If I know my choices, I'll know immediately. So Sue is splenic authority. Tell us about splenic authority.
Right. Well, splenic authority, right. Your sacral is strong and clear. Yeah. Now, splenic, it depends what type she is as well, but the splenic is very quiet. It's very
manifester. She's a manifester
splenic. Yeah. So the spleen is all about in the now, right now. And it's all about your safety and well-being and your intuition. So you're basically living on your intuition. And so right now says, let's go and let's do. And then in half an hour, it might be different. So you're constantly just following your intuition wherever it takes you. And so in a way, it's hard for other people to get that because they want you to go, right, that's a hard decision, and you're following that through, and you're following it through till whatever. And it's like, I'm following it now because that's right. But further down the road, there might be a junction off to the left or off to the right, and I'm going there. So the spleen is about what is safe, what is correct, what keeps you safe, what keeps you on your path right now, right this minute. And it's quiet. So you've got to trust your intuition. Doesn't shout like a sacral, and it won't say it more than once because the time's gone, because that was a second ago. So you ask it again, that was a second ago, but the sacral is clear. So the spleen is very much honing in and trusting. And at the end of the day, Sabina, this is always about you trying it out for yourself. I can give you your instruction book, but you've got to try it for yourself because you are choosing to live by that, and you need to know that it is right for you. And as soon as you start, well, it's not that you start, it's the fact that you go, yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah, I know, because I've done that. Like you said, with the wedding dress. So it just confirms. Oh, my friend Marie's just joined.
Hello, Marie. And Sue says, I drive people nuts with my redirections. This makes sense. I even drive myself nuts.
Yes, yeah. Because it's all about, it's like, it's animal instinct with the splenic. You know, your animal, your cat is just sat there quiet, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, right, what's that? Right, I'm out. And that's how the spleen is.
And what are the other authorities that you can have?
So we've got emotional authority. So that's all about how it feels for you over time. So 3 days minimum, because your emotions are like a wave going up and down. So you can feel like, yay, let's do it now. And then half an hour later, you're going, oh, I'm not sure now. And tomorrow is like, yeah, well, maybe it's a good idea. And then the next day is like, yeah, all right. So I describe the emotional way of drinking a glass of wine or spicy food that's got lots of flavors in, and you have a sip of your wine, like red wine, and you go, oh, do I like that? Maybe. You have another sip and you go, oh, and then another sip, and it's like, yeah, I like this, get this again. So it's like you get a perspective, a depth to that decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a bit like with spicy food. You have it and then you go, nah, there's too much garlic. Nah, don't like it. Thought I did when I started eating it, but I don't. So what an emotional center gives you is a feeling of calmness, of peace, of this is the right decision because I've had time to think. When we say think, and I don't mean think, but it's time to feel that decision. If I buy this, will it feel good even if I feel like shit today? Or if I feel amazing today, will it still feel like the right decision? And if I'm nervous or anxious, it's like, no, after the 3 days. Now, here's the complicated thing, because you can have a sacral because you're a generator, but you're emotional authority. So that means your sacral has got to be going, yeah, all through your 3 days of waves.
Right.
Yeah. Now, the sacral has to respond. So, say it was a car you wanted to buy, take a photo of the car, then every day, throughout the day, the next 3 days, you just look at the photo, see what the sacral does. Yep. As you go up and down. Yeah, keep checking. If at any point the sacral says no, it's no. Doesn't matter how much of a bargain it is, because when your energy is down, when your feelings are low, you're going to hate that car. And when your feelings are high, yeah, you like the car. Yeah, but there's no point in spending 20 grand on a car that you only like when your energy's up.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they have an overlay. Yeah.
So are they?
And then we've got.
Oh, yeah.
No,
what's the other?
There's more.
Yeah.
There's more, but they're the key ones that most people have.
Okay.
Yeah. If anybody else has got another type, please tell us, because
let us know if you know what type of human design you are, if you're here, and let us know if you know what authority you are and you'd like Alison to describe your one if she hasn't already covered it. So I just want to, so basically I had a reading with Alison that I loved, which is why I said to her, come on and let's talk about this, because A, I do love human design, and B, I just feel like there's so much in this that's really helpful for day-to-day life, for how you run your business, for like pretty much honoring who you are in all the different parts of your life. And Alison also did a chart. So basically, projector splenic. Okay, beautiful. Yep. Yeah. So basically,
so again,
yeah, go. What did you want to say about?
I was just going to answer Patrice. Yeah. So Patrice is all about, she needs the invite because she needs to be valued. She needs to be recognized. People need to invite her. So an invite for a projector can be anything as such as a smile. It can be an official invite, but for projectors, they've got to get themselves out there, and especially in business, get yourself out there. You cannot knock on doors. You cannot do cold calling, email selling, anything. You can only put yourself out there and go, here I am. Yeah. Then when the invite comes, the spleen will just go, yep, take that invite, or no, don't take that invite. Yes, I'll go there. No, I won't. Yes, I'll take that job. No, I won't. So again, it's in the moment, constantly in the moment. Yes. Sorry, go back to your chart.
No. So if you have a reading, this is what you get. You get this chart. So I don't want us to really go into these ones, and it's not because I'm strategically holding anything back that you can only get in a reading, because Alison is very generous and she would definitely be happy to share. But I just feel like it will get too overwhelming for people if this is an introduction.
Yes.
And so when you have a reading, you, based on the date and time and place that you were born, Alison will do you a chart, and then she will go through exactly what these being open and closed centers means. And that's what you were saying before, like where you could have, you know, you could be sacral, but then you could be emotional. And because whether, if the centers are open and closed, that's going to really determine how much the outside world and other people's energies are affecting what you might be thinking is your own. What you're feeling, what you're sensing, what you're responding to. So this is definitely
So everything that's coloured in your chart, whatever colour it is, anything that's coloured in is your energy. The lines, the shapes, the centres is your energy. It's your talents and your gifts and your potential, and it runs 24/7. It's yours. It's reliable, right? And you project that out. You send that energy out in your aura. Yeah. Anywhere you're white is where you take it in from other people, from the planets, from the environment, and you amplify it. So where it's white is like an echo chamber. So you bring in that energy and you make it stronger and you make it bigger. And this is why it can take over, because you feel like that's really strong and that's what's going on and that's what you feel, or that's what you're thinking, that's the mind, and it's not, it's other people.
And if I can share my example with that, and we talked about how, so that being open for me means a constant flow of messages for the collective, a constant ping 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 coming in, constant. And in that way, it can really do my head in when I'm like, is this for you, or is this for me? Is this for the collective? Is this for you? Is this for me? And it really, in order for actually me to be left with my own thoughts, I have to get fully off social media. I have to have a break from it completely. Otherwise, it is just open. It's almost like it's not even mine. It's just for the collective. Where it's a gift and where I can really play to my strengths is when I do lives on here or on YouTube or wherever, or even in conversation, and I don't have a thing to talk about, and I just leave it open, because the energy of the live and what people come in with actually determines what comes in and what comes out. So when you have an open center, I feel like there's a real kind of spectrum where you go from, this is really how it works beautifully for me, and this is how it can completely do my head in, because it's so hard to separate. So because that's where a reading, go.
Because the open centers are all about where you're here to become wise. These are your subjects in life's universities that you've chose to study. So the whiteness brings it in, but it's not yours. And when it's, you've got your sacral, what happens is you can get lost in making decisions, because that information's coming in and you're going, oh, I need to do that now. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, that would be a good business. Oh yeah, I could make money. And you're going, and then you're feeling guilty because you're not actioning all this information that's coming in, especially as a manifesting generator. Whereas what you need to do then is you can write them down, you can put them in a pot and pull one out and see what your sacral says, or you wait, because this is how the world works. The universe waits, and you'll get an email, or you'll speak to somebody, or you'll see an advert, or you walk down the street and it will trigger.
That's such a good hint, actually.
Yeah.
Because I am sacral, and if anybody else is, and because I am manifesting generator, which means there's about between 4 million to 8 million ideas per second. If you do write them down, that's such a good way, because then there they are, because it is always so easy for me to respond to choices rather than to just be swimming around in the allness of it. I can actually then respond to, that's great. Love that. We'll definitely definitely be doing that. That's really
little
good.
cards or strips of paper, put them in a pot, mix them a hat, pull one out, and then the sacral is surprised and it's just looking at that one.
Yeah. And then it'll be just as easy to go, yep, no, yep, no, yep,
absolutely.
No. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
because this is where people get lost. They get lost in their heads, and their heads are not for the decisions. Their decision comes from sacral, emotional, spleen, or, you know, when we talked about reflectors, if anybody's got any reflectors in their lives, their decision making is 28 days. They have to go through a lunar cycle because
manifesting generator being married to a reflector, I reckon that'd last about 24 hours.
Yeah. It would be who's stabbing who first.
It wouldn't last 28 days.
Oh dear. Yeah. So
you get so much information in a reading. It's very in depth. And so what would you say? So what will someone learn about themselves? Just to give them an idea, what will someone learn about themselves from a reading with you?
Yeah, well,
I mean, we've covered a lot.
Like, yeah, we have. It's really about who am I here to be?
Yeah.
What is who am I? And I do like the kitchen appliance analogy. Like, we're all kitchen appliances, but you've got a toaster and you've got a coffee machine, and the coffee machine's going, you're no good, you can't make coffee, and the toaster's going, oh, well, maybe if I get a little pan on my elements or a little coffee, and maybe I can. And then it has a reading and it goes, oh my God, I'm a toaster. I make amazing toast. I don't make coffee. I don't need to compete with you. I'm just a toaster and I'm amazing at it. So this gives you, this is you, and you know you. It's just that you've hidden it for so long to fit in, and it just helps you accept who you are, love who you are, and just go, this is how I make decisions. This is what I'm here to do. These are my natural talents, and these are the stuff that everybody's influencing me, and I don't need to listen to. I don't need to get sucked into that, because that's a big thing. The white in your chart is the biggest thing. But at the end of the day, it's all about what's your type, how does it work, how does it connect with others, and how do you make your decisions, and how do you support all the other people in your life. If you know what you're like and you can tell them, then you can help your partner make their decisions. You can relate better to the people in your world, because, like I say, with the manifester, they're very much out there doing their thing. Now, if you don't know that, then you're, oh my God, they've just gone off and done this. You didn't let me know. I don't know. You never, and they impact so many people, but they don't know unless they sit down. So, and you ask them and you go, right. And you can't tell a manifestor what to do. So if you've got a partner that's a manifestor, you need to know how to ask a question. Like, I'm wondering if we could do this time. I'm wondering what you think about if we go here. Or I'm wondering if you can let me know next time before you go to the shops and I think you're dead in a ditch. But if you don't know that, you just go, what the fuck?
Well, that was the other thing that you gave me after my reading, is actually a list of how I can ask myself questions best, and how other people can ask me questions, so that I can really get clear on my response. So you would do that obviously for each type.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you did that I loved was you actually did my chart and my husband's chart and spoke to me about the overlap, about where we're different and so that is also something that you do, which I think a lot of people might be very interested in, if you wanted to do a partner's and your own chart, and then have a session with Alison to talk about how best to make that meet, like you just said, with the dead in the ditch scenario. Yeah.
Even
So,
if it's just how to ask those questions,
yeah.
that they need a yes, no. Because if they're a projector and you ask me, and I think off the top of my head, your husband's a projector. So if you ask him yes, no, it's like, well, what else is there? Do you want this or do you want that? Well, what else is there?
I know it can never
because
bloody damn well. And of course I am a yes, no. And he's not.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to stab him in the eye because I'm like, just yes or no. Just this pen, yes or no. He's like, oh, no, it's all right. I don't. Yes.
Yeah. So you go, what pen would you like?
So it won't make your husband less annoying, but it will help you to understand why he is annoying.
Yeah. And help you keep centered.
And he's actually here.
Hello,
Mr. Cookson, if you're still in the house. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So a projector needs open questions. Yeah. And asking open questions to a generator, you drive them mad.
Yeah.
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 That's
just
right.
Simple things.
So
counseling.
People can find you, obviously, if you're in this live, you can follow Alison because her account is at the top right now. Yeah. Or else they can find you at
empoweringvision.com.au.
Yep. Now I will write these things in the blurb when I share this.
Yep.
Yep. So they can DM you or they can find you at empoweringvision.com.au. If they would like more information, they can contact you and they can get their chart done through that way. And then if they would like a reading, they can talk to you about that.
Absolutely. So if you just want to chat, you can email me. I'll create the chart and I do the printout and I'll email it to you with my little ebook of here's what all the different types are. Off you go. And then when you look at that and you get the sacral and the sacral goes or whatever decision making it is, and then come back to me. If you don't, that's all good. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Because this is, it's a journey. And what I find is that some people, especially manifesting generators, they want a reading right now. Oh, it's Sunday afternoon. Yeah, but can't you do it now? No, because it takes a couple of days to go through the process. And I sit with the chart. I feel the chart. I really feel the energy. And then I meet the next day. And it's always recorded because it's information overload.
Yeah.
And the more you listen, the more you get, and you can keep listening. I listened to one of my old readings the other day, and it's like, oh yeah.
So you can
otherwise,
in-person reading,
and
or
you can
online.
Just get an app if you want. You can go. There's lots of websites. Jovian Archive just run a chart. But if you want to keep your details personal, just go get an app on the iPad, on your phone. And you can just run everybody's charts.
Yeah, but if they want to have a reading with you, it can be in person or it can be online.
Yeah, in person, online. It's recorded either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in Emerald in the Hills, in the Dandenongs, just outside Melbourne. But otherwise, we can do it online anywhere and record it. So, I just think it's amazing information that
it is,
will
I agree.
just open your world and give you permission to be you. To be you.
I agree. It definitely, like no other thing that I have ever found before, just fitted. And it's not about you trying to fit into it. It's about you just will feel like, yes, this describes perfectly exactly how I am. And then obviously there are variations within it from just the general information you're going to get, because sometimes you'll have open centers, sometimes you'll have closed centers, which slightly change things. But obviously if you have a reading, that's the kind of, it's you can really get a very specific amount of detail.
Yeah, and your life's purpose. What are you here to do?
Yeah.
How are you here to do it? What are your natural talents? And how do you learn to trust yourself and be in your flow? I mean, it's not like you just have a reading and then you can flick the switch and everything's, you know, you. Because it takes a long time to decondition because you've been programmed to be something you're not all your life. But
and I feel like it helps you. Like, you know, we were saying before about I'm very good at responding to something. So the question, it doesn't matter what the question is, I'll be able to speak on it because I have this open center. Whereas I remember when I first started doing that kind of work, and I said to a friend of mine, I don't think I'm going to make notes. And she nearly had a fit. Like, she was like, oh God, I think you definitely should make notes. Which of course then I did, and it was nowhere near as good because I tried to follow that, but it actually stunted what it could have been. But now I would realize she's just telling me that from her own type, from the type that she is. She doesn't, she's not me. And so therefore it's not going to fit me because she doesn't, you know, as would, you know, advice I gave to her would not fit her either if she's a completely different type, because it's not how she functions. So I love that about.
And part of it is also that it goes into your body. It's like a cellular transformation as well. So it's all about allowing your mind to not get caught up in everything and just allowing the information to come into you and go where it needs to do. Because what we think we do with our mind is hold all the information and we've got to keep the memory going and everything, but it doesn't. The memories are in your body. They're in the gates. They're in the centers. Because I'm like you. I've got an open head and an ajna. I can't remember anything. I'm a list queen. The amount of alarms I have on my phone, I've got to get an alarm to get moving, alarm to get up, an alarm to get moving, alarm to leave the house. Otherwise, I get caught up and I forget. I have alarms for everything. I write loads of lists because I can't hold it in my head. To hold it in my head stops information coming in. But this information that I'm sharing with you, and when it resonates with you, it's in my body. Yeah. I mean, I've got notes lying around, but it's like, I don't even know why I made them really. Yeah. Because I'm talking. I'm just talking and it comes out. Yeah. Including the swear words.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. I'm going to put your website and your account in the blurb of this if someone's watching the replay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, go and follow Alison and definitely look into human design if you don't know about it. And if you already do know a little bit and you want to know a lot more, I can highly recommend having a reading, because she was a wealth of information and you will just walk away with so much information.
Yes. So what was this? Is there any questions, anything before we just...
So I've been dealing with 90-year-old parents who are very frail now. Navigating this is both exciting and overwhelming. How does my design work with this? Well, I think that's a great question for a reading, Sue, because that's very in-depth. And really, you'd have to know really all the other aspects of your chart to be able to answer that. Yeah. Thank you, Sammy. Yeah. Thank you, Sue, for being here, and thank you, Sue, for sharing what type you are. That was great. And I hope you've got some, well, you definitely had some aha. But yeah, I feel like that's quite an in-depth question, so you probably would need to know more detailed information. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Alison, for your time.
You're welcome.
And
thank you, my dear.
Yeah. Have a lovely rest of your Sunday.
I will. You too. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.